Good evening, Bahamas. You're tuned into NB12. Coming up tonight in news, the Miami Heat heads back home after wrapping up a week-long training camp. The Foreign Affairs Minister meets with Middle Eastern investors. Could the gaming bill take the backseat to gender equality legislation? We've got those stories and a whole lot more tonight. I'm Monique Toot, and NB12 starts now. Topping news tonight, following 4 days of intense training, reigning NBA champions the Miami Heat kissed the Bahamas goodbye and headed back home today to prepare for Monday's preseason game. But before they took off, our Christina McNeil caught up with the Big Three to hear all about their unforgettable practice in paradise.
It's a wrap on the Miami Heat's training camp in the Bahamas and an end to what some players say was one of the best training camp experiences.
One of my favorite training camps in my 11 years. To come down here, as a team, after winning back-to-back championships and see the intensity in here, see the focus, and also be here as a group, as a unit, to really enjoy each other. We got a special team, we got a special group, and it's times like this where you get to see it. So the Bahamas was great. It's amazing.
Excellent training camp. The best training camp I've ever been a part of. Everybody came in shape. Everybody competed every day. And, on the days where guys usually have that off kind of feel like today or yesterday, it wasn't there. We pushed through it. We had a great time. Enjoyed the weather. It was a lovely day yesterday. Enjoyed the sun. And, just hung out, had that nice little male bonding session.
It was great to see guys excited about being back, excited about the game of basketball, and we went after it. And want to give a lot of thanks to Nassau and to everyone here in the Bahamas for opening their arms and doors for, our organization. We had a great time. It was fun. And back to Miami.
The Big Three say the 4-day training camp was one of the best they have experienced. Very productive on and off the court. Head coach Erik Spoelstra agreed, saying the team got a chance to do something different and spent a lot of time together, which he hopes will pay off during the upcoming basketball season.
We've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed the whole experience. You never know how these times translate on the court. But I know that we've spent a great deal of time around each other and getting back around the family. And it's multiple hours per day. So our guys love it, enjoyed it. We feel it's part of becoming a close-knit group. And our guys enjoyed being down here and working at the same time. It was a cool thing to do. And I think our guys respected that. To be able to do something a little bit different.
With local and international press covering the week-long training session, social media outlets have been buzzing with news of the Miami Heat training in paradise. The Ministry of Tourism says it's coverage that you couldn't put a price on.
We've had great coverage from even before the arrival of the Heat team and the traditional media. We've had quite a number of international media arrived on the island. They've all been very pleased with what we've done to accommodate each and every one of them. And of course, we have the social media channels all buzzing.
Now it's back to Miami for the Heat as they have a few days to relax with family and friends before the season kicks off later this month. Reporting for NB12, I'm Christina McNeil.
Middle Eastern investors are eyeing the Bahamas for the next possible project. In fact, Minister of Foreign Affairs Fred Mitchell revealed today that during his recent trip to the United Nations, he met with investors from the Eastern Hemisphere nations. Jasmine Bonamy has more in this report.
Minister Mitchell revealed that during his trip he met with officials from Middle Eastern countries who expressed interest in investing in the Bahamas. The Foreign Affairs Minister says he met with investors during his trip to New York, where he attended United Nations General Assembly meetings.
The parameters within which we operate are these. These countries must be known and close allies of the United States and the West. And thus we have Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE as a starting point. They are looking around for investments and for projects. They have large sovereign wealth funds, and the idea is to get them interested, not a hard sell, but a soft sell, in coming to see the Bahamas and to see what we have to offer, and Grand Bahama in particular.
Mitchell adds that Qatar and Saudi Arabia are just a few of the countries where investors have expressed interest in doing business in the Bahamas. According to Mitchell, those Middle Eastern countries are some of the very few in the world operating at a surplus, making them an obvious choice for potential investors.
Here's the situation. Right now, there is a net deficit of capital for expansion and development in this region. And all countries in the region are looking for places that have surpluses of capital. The two areas that have surpluses of capital at the moment are China and the Middle East. And so all of our countries are basically putting before those countries, and the parameters within which we operate are these. These countries must be known and close allies of the United States and the West. And thus we have Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE as a starting point.
While he did not give specifics on how much the investors are looking to spend, Mitchell did say interest was expressed concerning a number of projects.
I am pleased, therefore, and look forward with anticipation to the results of our bilateral discussions with Middle Eastern countries.
Mitchell adds that he expects to be on the road for at least the next year to strengthen country-to-country ties. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Bonamy.
During that news conference held in Lynden Pinling International Airport's Diplomatic Lounge, Mitchell also revealed key aspects of his recent trip. In New York, he met with the International Organization for Migration and expects to settle a memorandum of understanding on the way forward. Prime Minister Perry Christie addressed the UN on Saturday.
I stayed behind to participate in the high-level debate on migration and development, and I spoke to the need for there to be a concerted effort on the part of all countries in this region to help the Bahamas deal with the migration issues which face us. I met with the International Organization for Migration, and we expect to settle shortly a memorandum of understanding on the way forward with the IOM over the near-term and long-term assistance to the Bahamas.
Mitchell added that while at the United Nations, the Bahamas was able to get the backing of CARICOM nations in our fight against illegal migration and attempts to vilify the country. 2 pilots walked away unharmed this morning after a Cessna 402 aircraft owned by Flamingo Air reportedly crash-landed at Mayaguana's airport. Acting manager of the Flight Standards Inspectorate, Delvin Major, told NB12 the plane's nose gear collapsed as it attempted to land at 8:45 a.m. Major says the 2 pilots, who were the only people on board the privately operated aircraft, were not injured. Mayaguana's airport has been the subject of controversy after a tragic accident left 3 people dead. The mother, sister, and brother-in-law of former Cabinet Minister Sidney Colley were killed on April 4th when a plane crashed into their truck, which was being used to help illuminate the airport runway. Solar lights were installed in May. Major told us it is too early to tell if today's crash landing was a result of problems encountered with the aircraft or runway. Based on the extent of damage, he says, officials will determine if they have to travel to the far-flung island to investigate. Tall Pines MP Leslie Miller is asserting that he did not abuse his parliamentary privilege in August when he named the man in connection with the 2002 murder of his son, Mario Miller. The former cabinet minister said he was not inside the House of Assembly on Wednesday when House Speaker Dr. Kendall Major expunged his comments from the record and apologized for Miller's remarks. However, Miller said if the speaker was in the mood to apologize, he should have offered apologies to the dead, meaning his son Mario. The speaker also apologized to the man Miller named and said he was disappointed that a private citizen was defamed without having recourse to defend himself. Major said incidents like this one should never take place in the House of Assembly.